Peace, peace, fam. It's your divine soul sister Shaki coming in on day number 3. I'm super excited. I'm pumped about what I'm doing right now with this series, Lessons from the Decade. I hope that you have been able to watch the last 2 videos. If not, go back, and review those. I'm keeping these videos variably short, between 8 to 10 minutes. I don't want to make them too long because then it begins to be a chore instead of a joy. So I wanted to come in again. If you are new to this channel, my name is Ashaki, better known as the Divine Soul Sister. And what I do is assist people with tuning in and tapping into their own intuition, their own divine gifts, so that they can fully live and enjoy the life that they've been given this particular time. How do I do that? Through use of my own intuitive gifts and divination. So I have all of my links below in the description box if you want to connect with me further via social media, my email, my website. You can also book readings, book Reiki sessions. I have children, so my apologies, and so on and so forth. So let's get into it. Lesson number 3 from the decade is your mistakes do not define you. So in the past, I have been one that would beat herself up because of things that I have done. I used to carry around a lot of regret. I still struggle with this. This is something that I'm still unpacking even now as I get closer to 40. Lots of regret, lots of disappointments, and things that in retrospect, if I had known better, I would have done better. And that's what I have to look at it as. Life is cyclical, and we have to learn a lesson, and we learn it in reverse, meaning that you have to go through something to be able to experience it sometimes before you can learn the lesson. And no matter how much people try to tell you or show you, sometimes, you don't learn the lessons as easily. That's part of the reason why our soul chooses to come to life, is to learn. So in this incarnation, this time around the sun, in this particular life, I have struggled with perfectionism to the point that I would go into deep depressions because I didn't feel I was hitting some imaginary goal in my mind of what success was, or what normalcy was, or whatever, what have you, societal norms. That caused me a lot of pain and anguish unduly. I caused myself a lot of pain by putting myself through so much. And I know that many of us struggle with carrying around regret because of whatever. Maybe you had a fair relationship. Maybe you could have been more compassionate towards your mate. Maybe you could have been more open, more communicative, and so on and so forth. I used to beat myself up because my own marriage ended. But it was my choice to end it. It had been over for years. I just had to make a sound decision to put it on paper, so to speak. Also, regrets about the way that I've moved in regards to finances. But then, even with that, I was not taught financial literacy growing up. I don't come from people, for the most part, the ones that I was exposed to the most. I'm not saying everybody in my family has financial issues or, has poverty mindset, but for the most part, the people that I interacted with the most in my family did not model a healthy relationship with money and were not financially literate. And so I was not taught that. And so I placed myself in positions where that's been a struggle. I've had to go back and educate myself, and it's a continual process. It's a continual thing that I have to go through to learn how to do better and be better when it comes to money management, budgeting, and just my entire financial outlook. But those mistakes or things that I've done that have not had a good outcome in my life, they don't define who I am, and neither do your mistakes. I used to, sit with and replay things through my mind. Why did you do this? Look at what's happened. But when we do that, we rob ourselves of realizing how awesome we really are, how great we really are. And whether we realize it or not, those mistakes have allowed us to mature to the level that we are right now. Had I not made all those mistakes in my 20s and so on and so forth, I would not be right here sitting, being able to share wisdom with the collective as I do in this regard. Um, Everything that has happened has brought me here, um, into this particular time period of my life. And I'm very grateful for that. I realize, sometimes I think I downplay, it's not even sometimes, regularly, I downplay my impact on others. But often, what the universe will do is go back to me to remind me of how I have assisted them and helped them along their journey. And, I never want to be one of these, people that wants folks to depend on me for their healing or for their progression. I want you to be empowered, to use the tools and to use the wisdom that I give you so that you can tune in, tap in, and guide yourself. And I can just take my hand off of your entire situation and move on to the next person. That's what my goal and intent is. Um, I would not be able to help people and assist people had I not fallen and bumped and hit my head along the way. Um, Recently, I traveled back to the community where my grandmother was raised. My mother also, for the most part, but my grandmother, my great grandparents, the area where they farmed the land. I traveled back there in October, and I remember being a child and being very embarrassed about coming from people that were farmers, that were not as educated as some other people, that were not very, very well off. Um, and I felt this heaviness of regret at that time when I visited the area where they lived, because now all those things that I was embarrassed about, I realized the tenacity to go and the persistence to put your hands in the earth and to provide for your family based off the strength of what you do with the land that you live on is much greater than what I ever realized at the time when I was growing up. So I downplayed the fact that, I come from farmers and I shied away from it. And so I felt a big sense of regret when I visited, because how dare I look my nose down at them? If it wasn't for them, it would be no me. Going backward, Sankofa, reaching back to fetch, is the area which I have found myself now, this time and space. But even that great mistake has again brought me to this place of supreme gratitude. My ancestors, ancestral reverence for me is an integral part of my spiritual practice as well as my business practice as Divine Soul, because we carry our ancestors with us everywhere we go. They're in our DNA. And so I said all of that to say this: their mistakes and your mistakes have helped to bring you to this particular point. And you can either allow those mistakes to hold you back from living the life that you truly deserve, or you can do like I'm doing. You can transmute all of that regret and disappointment and pain and hurt and whatever else, other emotions you may be feeling. Learn to transmute that into energy to put it into creating the life that you want the most. So this has been Ashaki. I hope this video has brought you a little bit more inspiration. I can't motivate you. Motivation is intrinsic, so that comes from within. But I can always inspire you. Maybe it sparks something in your mind. So again, if you're new to this channel and you like what you are hearing, I would love to have you as a member of the Divine Soul family. Hit that subscribe button, hit the bell. I typically only upload one video per week. However, I am challenging myself to follow what Spirit has given me, is to produce one video per day for the remainder of the 2019 year. and for this particular decade of 2009 to 2019. So we're looking 2020 down the throat, and we are making progress. Continue to rock with me, and I hope you all are well and enjoying your holiday season. So until tomorrow, sending you all an abundance of peace, love, light, and always balance. Your divine soul sister, from my divine soul to yours. See you guys tomorrow. Peace.